Do you feel like she instigates it or he does? Both. Okay. How old is he? He's 6,
7.
okay. Oh boy. Yeah, I can see how this would drive you crazy.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, we're gonna start tackling some of this. All right. Let me just run to my bag real quick. I'm gonna grab something and we'll start jumping into this.
Oh, geez.
To communicate with the dogs what we don't want them to do in certain areas. So it's not that they're doing anything terrible, it's just a matter of we just don't want it, right? So we need to be able to leverage all these little things. If I can't stop them in this relatively heightened state of mind from doing things that I don't want them to do, then how do I expect to be able to communicate when they're doing something a lot bigger, like aggression or reactivity on the walk or whatever it may be? So the first thing I want to do, and this is going to apply with both of them here, is I'm going to communicate that I don't want them having any like nonsense in the house right now, any of the rough play and stuff. And I'm going to use the pet corrector for this, right? So the pet corrector is just compressed air, so when you spray it, it gives a loud burst of air here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to condition a verbal marker with the pet corrector here. So this word is going to be no, right? So I'm just going to tell them no. I don't want you to do that right now. So the next time they start playing with each other, I'm just going to say no clearly. I'm not shouting and I'm not angry or anything. And then I'm going to walk up and I'm just going to spray whichever dog initiates that play. No. And then we're going to wait and we're going to see what happens. And if they do it again, I'm going to do that same exact thing again. Now, she seemed a little bit more fazed by it than he was. Certain dogs are more or less responsive to this than others. He thinks it's a toy, right? So we're going to kind of see what we get here with it. So. No. So now that I said no, I'm just going to find him and give that correction. Now the cool thing about our no marker here is it buys us what's referred to as latency. So what latency is after we give that no, we bought ourselves essentially a length of time in order to connect the consequence to the behavior. Okay. So think of no like taking a picture of whatever they're doing in that moment in time, right? So say I said no right now. I would be taking a picture of him on that furniture there, right? Yes. From there, even if he gets off of it, I've already taken the snapshot. So if I correct when he's right here, as long as I said no when he's on there, he's still going to be able to make that connection in his head of what that consequence is for, right? So that's a common misconception a lot of people have of, oh, I need to correct the dog immediately in the act of the behavior. It's not necessarily true. You just have to identify what it is that they're doing that we don't want immediately, right? As long as you do that, that correction can come 10 seconds later, 15 seconds later, with enough time in order for you to, say this is laying down over there, go and get it, and then give the correction or whatever it may be, right? Notice they're actually chilling out here right now.
Yeah, maybe they're tired already.
Yeah, no, probably not, right? They're just realizing something's a little bit different here. They're trying to figure out what's going on. Very good. Okay, let's go ahead and get up, and we're just going to kind of walk around through the kitchen here. Okay. Yeah, we go in that direction. Same deal. My only criteria right now is them playing with each other. We're being very selective of things. So that's the big thing with stopping unwanted behaviors. If there's something that we don't want the dogs to do, we have to be as clear as possible about what it is. So because of that, I'm sure there's a whole list of things that he does and she does where you're like, I wish that she didn't do that. But if we start going like, don't jump on the couch, don't jump on the person, don't play with each other, don't pick up this off of the ground, don't do this, don't do that, right? It starts getting confusing where it's like, whoa, what can I do, right? So I like to pick and choose those things that I'm going to be correcting for initially, and I make essentially like a laundry list of like, okay, cool, top priority, they got to learn to just like chill out in the house with each other, so we're going to stop that first, right? Once we have that good, then great, I don't want them on the furniture, we're going to stop that next, right? And then after that, I don't know, barking or whatever it may be, we're going to keep going down that list and be as consistent as possible at each of those things until we chip away with them. And a lot of times, just behavioral issues in general really stem from the dog not truly like understanding that we can influence their behavior. You know what I mean? So if she doesn't realize that you have the ability to communicate with her, things that she doesn't want to do, or things that we don't want her to do, or him, or whatever it may be, they're more likely to react and act, a certain way in the house and stuff like that. So we want to be really aware of those things.